This is our ensemble.
And just a second, I'm getting there, guys. As a journalist from the New York Times, hard as nail, Marisa Tomei.
I didn't think of this as really a political film. I thought this was a film about sort of moral choices, and I don't think that has necessarily any political stripe. I just thought it was a fun moral tale, and once you put it in politics, it sort of amps up all the problems. I thought that was fun.
Please.
Pretty much, and I don't want to blow anybody's mind, pretty much the same guy as George Clooney, the actor. Basically the same height, same hair, pretty much the same. Yeah, I did get that extra one. I'm not quite sure what you want me to say about it, except that I'm lucky enough to work with a great bunch of actors who sort of elevate the project. So that's the secret to directing, I think, is working with really good people. When you get these guys, they just, they like the script, they wanted to do the part, and you sort of get out of the way, mostly. You got to remember that films don't lead the way. People a lot of times think that films somehow are trying to lead society. In general, it takes about 2 years, at the very least, to get a film made. So mostly we're reflecting the moods and thoughts that are going on in our country or around the world. So if this film reflects some of the cynicism that we've seen in recent times, that's probably good. It's not a bad thing to hold a mirror up and look at some of the things that we're doing. Not a bad thing to look at how we elect our officials at times like that. But that wasn't what the film was designed to do. I mean, honestly, the idea was for us that there isn't a person you've ever met that hasn't been faced with certain moral questions. Every one of us has had that idea of, well, if I take this job, which is better, I might be screwing over my boss who I like. Everybody has makes moral choices that better themselves and hurt someone else along the way. And whether or not that the means justify the ends. And that, to me, is universal, and it could have been literally in Wall Street, actually probably easier in Wall Street. It could have been anywhere. So that was our point. I think he knocks it out of the park. Look, this is a very, very difficult role. You've got to be the center of a hurricane, and you have to carry everyone and everybody's point of view on your shoulders, and it's a very difficult thing to do. It requires intelligence in an actor, which doesn't always happen for some reason. I don't know.
It was really fun to work with George, right, guys?
Keep going.
Okay.
Go on.
Okay. Okay. It was more than fun. It was life-altering, to be honest. It was watching him work was like watching a unicorn being born every day. No, it's rare to work with a director that is as clear as George is and knows exactly what he wants. Sometimes it felt like someone trying to explain a song that was in their head. I mean, he knew this film inside and out, and I was surprised by his level of enthusiasm for filmmaking in general. All he wanted to do was talk about the film and break it down, and he would talk you through the scenes, and then he would even hum what he thought the music might be like, and he would talk you through each. It's like talk you through the movie in real time. And he was very very clear, and he would give you this like incredible direction, and it was just so focused, and you're ready to do the scene, and then he'd walk away, and you'd realize that he was spraying an Evian bottle on your crotch. And then he'd make you do your big scene with Phil Hoffman or Paul Giamatti with wet pants. So that's kind of what it was like, right?
That's pretty much what it's like.
That's pretty accurate.
That's pretty accurate, yeah.
I grew up with older brothers, and all my friends are guys, so I felt really comfortable with all these amazing people, and they're all so funny, and it's just, I don't know, they're just the best guys in the world. Look at them. I mean, I feel like the luckiest woman ever, quite honestly. George is slipping me money under the table, by the way. That's one of the reasons why I love my character so much, is that she's not intimidated by any of these men. She's been raised in this world, and around them. So she's the one that's really throwing them all off their game, So it was fun. It was fun to kind of go toe to toe with those guys. I love the fact that George uses, his status and where he's at and everything that he's learned to tell the stories that he wants to tell. And, I think this film was just fueled by passion for, honestly, for everyone that worked on it.
My character is one of the guys, so I could use that energy as well in the scenes too, and I was intimidated too, even to kind of hold that space. And I would say to George, you would tell me, you have the most power in this scene. I have the most power in this scene? Really?
I told everybody that.
There wasn't anyone specifically that this character was based on, and the guys gave me some documentaries too.
Having been born and raised in Washington, D.C., we're all animals and some political. You kind of absorb politics when you grow up there. And it certainly, continues to be a focus of mine, probably more so than is healthy for me. What's fantastic about being a part of a film like this, or other films that I've done that have that kind of relevance, is you get to express some of that through the work. So even though I agree with George that this isn't so much so necessarily needs to be pinned down to a political film, because I've
He actually wrote the ending first, and sort of worked backwards. So we gave it away to ourselves very early, and then